I'm Fernando, and I've been recreating NASA's vehicle assembly building in Minecraft. This video, we're going to tackle 4 things. The first thing we're going to build is the Crawlerway road, which is used to drive the rockets out to the launch pad. Then we'll build the crawler transporter, which is the unit that lifts the mobile launcher platform and enables it to drive. The third thing is a water truck with a special purpose that we'll talk about later. And finally, we've got one more room in the low bay area N called the flight kits area. Back in the 1960s, when NASA designed the VAB, they needed to work out how to get the rockets from the vehicle assembly building all the way out to each of the launch pads. They considered various options, including a rail system, but ultimately settled on the crawler transporter system. Now, the vehicle assembly building has 4 high bays and 4 different doors they need to get the rockets out of, onto the same road, and out to the launch pads. Now, using the blueprint mod I made last video, I was able to take a screenshot from Google Maps, put it into my world, and just line things up and use that as a guide to work out this road. I also used MiniHub's shape renderer to put big circles into the world, and then I could line up each block along the arc to get nice curves in my roads. So circles and straight lines are fairly straightforward, and most of it could be done with this, but on the eastern side there's this complex S-bend where things join up. So I learned a bunch of complicated stuff in World Edit using convex selection paths and global mass and curves, and eventually got to a place I was pretty happy with. I came up with a sneaky trick by using a water bucket to fill in the area between my complicated shape. Then I could use World Edit to replace the water with the block that I want. This saved a lot of time over placing every block one by one. So now with the shape done, I need to replace my placeholders with a bit of texture and add a bit more detail. So now we have a road, we need a crawler transporter. Now there's lots of online images and references of these, which makes it pretty easy to get the dimensions and what they look like. So let's start building it in time lapse, and I'll go over a few interesting facts that I've learned. NASA built 2 crawler transporters and has been using them both since 1965. There are 8 treads, each tread has 57 shoes, and each shoe weighs about a metric ton. They are the largest self-powered vehicles in the world. They each weigh just under 3 million kilograms and can carry a load of 8 million kilograms. It takes 5 hours to drive the almost 7-kilometer journey to the launch pad. There are 2 massive 200 kilowatt diesel engines on board, as well as various other engines. It burns through 468 litres of fuel for every kilometre it travels. They are fully self-sufficient with a microwave and bathroom on board for the crew. The central tank is filled with hydraulic oil for levelling and suspension. There is an identical cab on the front and on the back, so to go in reverse, the driver walks out of the cab to the other end of the vehicle and hops in the other cab. They use a laser guidance levelling system to keep the top flat and level. One more fact to check is that the crawler transporter is slower than a turtle, so let's race these guys. Yep, the turtle wins. I think that's accurate. So the Crawlerway is constructed with Alabama River rock, and one of the problems is the crawler transporter is so heavy that as it goes across it, it crushes the river rock, which creates a lot of dust, which is a big problem when you're trying to build scientific equipment to go into space. So what NASA do is they use a truck that goes in front of the crawler transporter, which sprays water and dampens the rock, which helps reduce dust, but also increase traction on the crawler, because it does have to go slightly uphill from time to time. So looking at this truck, I was able to find a couple of pictures, and if we zoom in, we see a red oval for the logo. So looking up some US truck logos, you can find that this is the Peterbilt truck. Looking at some of the different types, we'll see if we can find the exact make and model of this truck. So looking through here, it looks pretty close to the 384 or the 385. A bit more searching, I was able to find the Baby 8 382. Now this is a Class 8 chassis with a mid-range engine. So this leads me to try and work out what does Class 8 mean. So looking up different truck classes, we can see that Class 8 are for really huge trucks, which could be right because it's carrying a big water tank with a lot of water. So we look up the 382, and this is giving me a whole lot of specifications of it, and I can look at the type of engine, and that's exciting, and try and work out the size of the frame and the type of exhaust. Looking online at marketplaces to find some pictures from different angles to try and get a sense of what this truck is and what it looks like and all the fine detail. Some of the original brochures from Peterbilt itself really go into this model 382, and we can have a look through and we can see internal shots of the dash, exactly what each of these little hinges look like. Then I found the 348, which is a water truck. Now again, that tank's slightly different because it's rounded there, but the one that NASA uses is quite square. This is from 2012. I know that the photos we were looking at were from 2018, but it was unlikely that the trucks were built in the same year the photos were taken. Another thing I found was some schematics of some of the models of it, not the exact model, but then I don't know the exact model. So why don't we get straight in and build this in Minecraft? So this is what I've built for the Peterbilt 348 or 382. I don't know what model it is. It turns out that a lot of the differences between models are actually too subtle for Minecraft anyway. I mean, the entire dash is a few blocks. I did a whole lot of research into what the internal looks like, and the entire internals of this truck is 4 blocks. So I think there's this concept of over research. I've definitely sunk a lot of hours into learning a lot of cool details about this truck, but ultimately I couldn't create them in Minecraft because we're quite limited to the scale of what we can do. I did fill it full of water, which I quite like. Realistically, I think I've put a little bit too much time into this truck. So there it is. So that's kind of cool. These side bits are where the water would spread out from. You can see at the back here, here's the crawler transporter we built just before. This is where I designed it. If I use my blueprint mod, you can see some of the original schematics that I pulled in and lined up just to get everything kind of in the right place and to the right scale. So putting the water truck in place, I've tried to create some water streams here to make it look like it's dampening the Crawlerway. I've tried to make the Crawlerway look a little bit darker, kind of where it's been, as well as tried to put some kind of tread marks in for the Crawlerway just to give it a little bit more realism. And I think I'm happy with these water streams. I'm not quite sure if you've got any ideas on what I could do to make this look a little bit more realistic, or maybe I'm just overthinking it. So that's it for the Crawlerway and the crawler and the water truck. So next, let's have a look at the flight kits area in Area N. Last video, we built the RMS lab based on pictures we found on the Library of Congress. If we pop next door, let's have a look at the other area we found on the Library of Congress, room 1N12. So we know that Area N has 3 levels, including a mezzanine, and 1N12 is on the first level. On the Library of Congress, I was able to find 3 photos of room 1N12. We can see that it's divided into storage on one side and desks on the other side with some exposed pillars down the centre. There's a view in the corner here of an electronics testing lab, and there's a view facing south. We can see the other end and see a couple of key storage containers and various details. So I think we just get straight into it and build this one in time lapse. Okay, so that went well. So this is my interpretation of room 1N12, the flight kits area. I've got the storage on the right here and the workstations on the left. Coming down here, you can see various details. This is the electronics setup. I'll just show you that against the actual reference image that I had. Here against this image, you can see some of the detail that I was used, and some of the lines and the storages and the boxes and these weird things on the side. I don't know what they are. I can't reproduce them accurately. You see that fan in the background? I built that fan, which I'm pretty happy about, and some of the detail on the top. So all in all, I think this has gone pretty well. There's just lots of messy detail, and it looks like a lab with lots of storage and all sorts of things. If we come through here, I know there's stairs in between areas N and M, but I don't really know what's in area M. So if anyone has any details or clues as to what's there, or even what's on some of these upper levels, it would be really useful to get. So that's it for today. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you've got any ideas, encouragement or feedback, let me know, and have a great day.